Hello friends, it's Jama Malmi. Welcome to another scrapbook process video. This is the direction we're going with a Cricut layout, and I wanted to start out with a Cricut Design Space tutorial. So lately, close to my heart has been offering an SVG collection to go with every paper collection, so you have some digital art to match. Now, this is not a Cricut collection, it is downloadable SVG files, and so that two-page layout that you saw at the start is exactly how it's imported as the SVG file. So the whole two-page layout is completely done for you, and you could just cut it out as is if you wanted to. But of course, I like to customize everything here on my channel, so I'm going to do that for you, and I'm showing you how I'm changing all of the colors to match my photo. So the photo I'm using is one of my favorites of all time, my son in his Spider-Man costume, which I believe it was last summer, he pretty much lived in, and he was eating ice cream, and it's just so cute. You'll see it again in a moment. But it's mostly red, white, and blue with some black. So I'm changing the colors to match that. And I brought this down to just a one-page layout. And then that background little waffle that I'm doing right now, I'm hiding all contours because I wanted to have another piece that fit right behind that waffle cone so I could add another color. I wanted it to be like a tone-on-tone color rather than the way it was designed. The whole background would have been white. And then I'm going to do that again too up by the sprinkles. I wanted the sprinkles to be a different color. And so in a bit, I'm going to go and do the same thing again. So I changed the accents to black originally. I thought gray, so it wasn't quite so harsh, but I decided to change it to black because there is black in my photo. And so I wanted that contrast. So I had these ice cream cones from a different SVG file, or it might have been a Cricut collection, I can't remember, but I'm just bringing those in, and the colors were already red, white, and blue, so I'm just going to change the red and the blue so that they are the same red and blue that I'm already using, because I want to cut them out on the same paper. I also had this more soft serve looking ice cream cone, and so I tried that out as well, and thought that I might want to use that. It did resemble what my son was eating a little bit more, so I wanted to try to use it, but I just really liked the look of the 3 scoops on the sugar cone. So I'm going to keep playing with that. I'm playing with the colors of that like waffle cone background on the bottom. And then I decided to change it to bright yellow because at this point I had watched my friend Andrea's video over on Girl Plus Paper. I'm going to link to her channel down below because her layout was super inspiring. She did this as the 2-page layout and also changed the colors, but she used glitter paper for the waffle cone part, and I thought it was so pretty that after I watched her video, I thought, yep, that's what I'm doing. So all of the parts that you see that are bright yellow are going to be cut out of gold glitter paper. And I just wanted to definitely distinguish that so I remember which one to put on the mat. So here is my background. I didn't cut the background mat on the Cricut because of course you can't cut 12 by 12 very well on it. So I just cut that out and gutted it myself, and I'm using my Versamat to line everything up, and that helped me make sure I had my 1/2-inch border all the way around. I've got the photo mats cut for my photo, which I also just cut on my own, and here are all of the pieces I cut with my Cricut. So I had already adhered the 2 layers of each of the cones together off camera because they were pretty detailed, but it looks so pretty with that gold. And this is the sprinkles where I hid all the contours of that sprinkles layer also and duplicated it to put that gold background behind it. Hindsight, now that I'm looking back, I wish I had cut it with red glitter paper. That would have popped really, really nicely, but I didn't want to go back and do that and waste that gold paper that I had already cut. Of course, I would have reused it, but it was kind of cut a little bit differently than I would have used it for anything else. So I just decided to keep it gold, but if you're going to do this yourself, it would look really cool in red. So I just wanted to show you quickly and sped up how I adhered these together. I just used my Barely Art liquid glue with the fine tip, which I love, and I adhered the bottom layer first. So it worked best to adhere the bottom layer because everything's going to layer on top of that, and then move back up to the top and adhere the top layer. But of course, first, since I did that extra layer of glitter, I'm going to do the 2 layers here, and I'm just putting a little bit of glue around all of those little pieces. That might have been a little bit overkill. You may not need that much glue, but I just wanted to make sure it was adhered well around all of those little sprinkle bits. And then I'm going to hold it down with my tape runners just to keep it steady, keep it something heavy on it for a moment. And then I will glue that down at the top. So we did the bottom first, and then we're going to move up to the top, and then we're going to kind of piece all of these things together like a puzzle. So now this second one is going to fit right in with a little bit of a gap right underneath that piece, just like a puzzle. And same with the red. And see how the red overlaps the waffle cone? So you had to put that waffle cone part down first. And that background is so fun. I just think it's so cute, and you could use it for any type of layout where there's ice cream or sundaes or there's so many uses for it. And then of course I mentioned these little cones are from different collections that I had, or you can use stamps that you might have or other dies that you might have, but this was really super fun. I cut out a few options for that smaller cone and ended up being glad that I did, because I liked it with just the blue and white, the 2 different colors of blue and white. I was thinking I wanted to try to fit all 3 cones because I do like a visual triangle and I like things in 3, but I wasn't feeling the soft serve cone. I kept trying to make it work, and I'm going to keep trying to fit it in, but I just wasn't liking it. And that's kind of one of the nice things about designing your layout in Design Space first, is you can see how everything's going to lay out. And I really liked this title, Sweet Life, which you saw me in Design Space delete part of it. And I think it said This Sweet Life, so I just deleted part of the title. I really liked it here kind of overlapping the cone. Now looking back, I do like the soft serve cone over there on the left forming the visual triangle, but it's not going to stay there because in the moment I didn't like it, and I guess I just had it in my mind. I just wasn't liking that soft serve cone. I didn't like the mix of it or something. I don't know. I also wasn't crazy about the gold waffle on top of the gold waffle background. So I end up liking it in the end, even though I don't have my visual triangle of cones. I balanced out the page with a lot of other embellishments, and I added some other black embellishments because of the black pops that I have in the background and the outline of my photo and the title. So these little circles I thought would help with that visual triangle. I thought that those cones needed a little something to kind of pop off the page because it was the gold on gold, especially in that bottom right one. I wanted to have something behind it to help it pop off, and I think that that circle did the trick. And then to form the visual triangle, I added that smaller circle in the top right around my photo. And then of course I had to add some black splatters because what layout of mine is complete without them. So I remembered to cover my photo this time so I didn't get it all over my photo like in one of my most recent layouts. So don't want to have to reprint photos again. Got one little blob that was a little bit bigger than I wanted, and I will just cover that up with a little embellishment. So no big deal. And there we go. It's going to be covered with a little heart. So I have these acrylic hearts that were in my stash. There are still some acrylic hearts available, I believe. I don't think these exact ones are, but some of them are still similar. So I scattered those around the layout to help balance everything out and add a little bit more pops of black around the page since I had that as my accent color. And I really like the addition of the hearts. And then I'm also going to end up pulling in a few gold sequins, and I pulled out just the bright gold sequins. There's a mix of kind of a dull gold and a bright gold and some like iridescent, and I wanted just the bright gold to match the bright gold glitter paper, but I didn't want to overdo it because I do have so much glitter paper. I just wanted some little subtle pops. And so you definitely could go the route without glitter paper for this background and for this layout if you are not as into bling as I am. I love bling and glitter and shine, but I know not everybody does, so you could easily just leave that part out. Leave out the blingy sequins and the glitter paper, but it adds so much to me. I just absolutely love it. So I added these down with a mix of micro glue dots and my Barely Art glue. And then for the title and the cones, I did a mix of foam tape and regular tape. And the foam tape was a mix of thin 3D foam tape and regular foam tape. So some of it stuck up a little higher than others. I basically just wanted to make sure everything was even, especially since there's 2 matte layers under the photo. So that pretty much wraps everything up. This is where my journaling is going to go. I'll do some strip journaling. And here's a look at all of that beautiful glitter and shine. And I just love how this turned out. And I hope you did too, and that you learned a few things. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so for lots more scrapbooking inspiration. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.